Barang naik, betul.
Yes.
Tapi gaji still sama je.
No, gaji kita naik juga. Gaji kita 1,500 sekarang.
Over the
Inflation
years,
tu kita
kenapa
punca.
barang kita naik?
Itu yang
Because
our
of
brother just
inflation.
now cuba
Because
untuk
of
cakap.
the minimum wage.
Salaries in Malaysia are fair for the workload. Can the agreeer please step forward?
Saya setuju kerana tangga gaji ni ditentukan atas kemahiran seseorang tu. Lebih rajin dia, lebih bagus dia, lebih pandai dia dan dia berhak mendapat gaji yang lebih.
Macam abang cakap sebelum ni, ikut kemahiran, kerajinan, betul faktor yang penting juga. Tetapi bukan dalam semua sektor. Government is fixed, I faham basic dia. Dia ikut pangkat ke atau masing-masing punya job scope. Tapi still ada private sector yang masih setting gaji dia dalam 1,500. How we going to run our monthly commitment?
I always believe that setiap individual punya gaji actually determined by the market itself lah. So mungkin salary you company ini bagi you ini, tetapi kalau you pergi tempat lain gaji you tak sama.
Let's take the lower tier job scope. Example, a security guard. The salary he's getting versus the job that he's doing is definitely not fair. Because at the end of the day, he's putting his life at risk
Yep.
to secure the entire facility. But it's actually looked as a low-income job.
So for me, because I'm from a B40 family, my mother, she's the only person who work in the family. I would say it's very unfair for her workload, but the salary is not enough to cover the family lah. So salary and workload wise, I don't think it's fair from my personal perspective.
Salary versus workload. Kita memang tak akan dapat satu point yang mana kita akan boleh bagi spesifik harga ataupun spesifik range untuk berapa how much salary you should get. Sebab kalau kita tengok macam just now mention security guard ataupun hard labour, memang dia punya workload secara fizikal lebih daripada eksekutif yang kerja dekat office. Tapi kalau dia kerja dekat office, dia punya pressure tu tak sama macam yang hard labour ni. Habis kerja dan that's it lah, habis tak banyak fikir apa-apa lagi, dia terus balik rumah dan boleh rehat. Tapi sometimes kalau executive level ni, kita running kerja almost 24/7.
Dan macam kalau cakap eksekutif dia guna otak and stuff, apa kata orang yang kerja dalam tentera, they give their life, tapi salary mereka lagi kurang.
Betul.
Kerana dia ada border, they giving their life, they sacrifice their way from home, salary mereka lagi kurang.
Betul.
Minimum wage should be increased. If you are aligned with this, please step forward.
I totally agree.
Come now, on sit lah. You agree like this now.
Producer agree. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, minimum wage definitely have to be increased. It's way too low, the benchmark basically, especially for the B40 category and especially for the labour category.
2005 dengan kehidupan yang sekarang ni macam-macam. You need Wi-Fi, you need transportation, you need. Memang agree ya.
Yeah. To increase the salary, the minimum wage, the country grows, the lifestyle it becomes better, and yeah.
Really, everything is increasing, price is increasing, and commitment are much more now than before.
True. Everything's been increased, so why not salary? That's the question.
I'm back.
Yeah. This time totally opposite.
Okay, before I start with this topic, I want to mention about the company objective first. What is the company objective? Is to maximize profit and minimize costs. Minimum wage is one of the company expenses. So when minimum wage to be increased, company profit will be lower.
No.
In order for company profit to get increased, what will happen? They will pass the cost to consumer. When they pass the cost to the consumer, the inflation will increase.
As an employer of a company, if I do not increase the minimum wage, as the saying goes, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So you do not get quality staffs. So when you do not get quality staffs, equivalent, your profit can also go down because you are paying low wage.
When you increase the minimum wage, there is a law. The workers, the salary all increase from 1,500 increase to 1,700. The operational cost will increase. I still stand that minimum wage should not be increased.
Fair enough.
Okay, maybe because it's
Because if your point of view, it would cause inflation.
As an entrepreneur, you want to make a profit, but as a salary paid person, I do not want to be a cheap labor.
Yeah.
I want to be earning some certain amount of money that could actually sustain my lifestyle.
Correct.
It's fair enough for the employer to say, I want to look into profit, but profit comes later.
Later, yeah.
That-
Profit
when you
comes
put
later. It's not
the
that I
word-
just pop a business and I look into profit.
Okay, I disagree to increase minimum wages or minimum salary sebab I am more concerned to the dominoes effect. Same like our brother just now. Bila salary naik, expenses naik. Expenses naik, dia akan tekan balik to consumer. So what's the point you punya gaji naik but barang-barang you nak beli still mahal?
Tak semestinya I punya gaji naik, I punya price tag untuk I punya barang pun naik, because at this point of time, right now, 1,500 Klang Valley is insufficient.
A few years back, let's say lah, kita pergi tak payah jauh, 10 years back lah, satu full trolley barang kita boleh dapat dekat supermarket around 100 to 200 full, betul?
boleh jadi bukit.
But that time kita punya minimum salary 800, 900.
Oh, but
Dia datang sekarang 2023.
Okay,
Satu
it's okay.
There is
Barang
a
harga
point.
barang naik, betul.
Yes.
Tapi gaji still sama je.
No, gaji kita naik juga. Gaji kita 1,500 sekarang.
Over the
Inflation
years,
tu kita
kenapa
punch je.
barang kita naik?
Itu yang
Because
our
of
brother
inflation.
just now cuba
Because of
cakap.
the minimum wage.
Yes.
Because the minimum wage is the expenses.
Not
It's the
all
part of
time.
We
Wages.
talk about economic.
No,
okay, we
fine.
talk about economics.
No, let's say kita negara membangun. We
Yeah.
are following the direction of negara membangun. If okay, fine, fair enough. We remain with the minimum wage. We remain. Harga pun janganlah naik.
Don't forget, every year their staff have salary increment. Mungkin dia masuk is 1,500, tapi the next year is 1,700,
Not all
1,800.
companies give increment.
Yeah, that's what happening to the workers. They don't feel like it's enough for them for the minimum survival for monthly. It's not enough for them. That's why they're asking more.
But you don't forget, once the minimum wages increase, right, is all the nation will be increased, including those outskirts, Perlis, Johor, Malacca, whereby I think the outskirts, their expenses is not the highest.
Just asking, is it fair for the government to increase the minimum wage based on the city, like let's say Klang Valley increase the wage?
Depend the geography.
What if suddenly, for example, Perlis suddenly develop like
When the suddenly comes, then only they increase.
When minimum wage increase, there's no way that inflation will stay. Inflation will increase. It will shoot up. It's not like gradually. It's not like gradually increase inflation, but it will shoot up because
Even you don't increase, also inflation is still.
inflation will continue.
Slowly.
But slow.
what
but slow.
happened? No, what happened?
Subsidies should be given to everyone regardless of your income bracket. Can the agreeer please step forward?
As a Malaysian, we should be proud to be a Malaysian, and then it's our entitlement
Yeah.
to have this kind of subsidies. Okay, is my point of view. If the government have surplus budget, why not give it to us? Give us the subsidies.
This taste of discounts.
Yeah, basically subsidy is entitlement lah. It's overall government punya movement. So it's subsidized. So because of it's a global market, that's why government is able to subsidize. So I think income bracket should not be there. They should actually give it out blanket to everybody.
T20 sumbangan dia, he pay a lot of tax. So it's the time to government pay back to them by subsidies.
So I'm disagreeing with this statement where the subsidy has to give to everyone, because I think rather you give the subsidies to like everyone, like so you give it, you save the subsidies and give it more to the one who need it the most, the more lah.
Okay, subsidi ni bukan satu benda yang orang kata kena bagi. Subsidi ni in other words is bantuan. If you are T20, kenapa you still nak bantuan? Why not the bantuan yang diberi itu expenses. So why not expenses yang ada tu kita bagi more to yang lebih memerlukan. So that bantuan tu akan jadi lebih besar dan maybe banyak manfaat lain yang boleh dapat untuk bantu golongan yang memerlukan bantuan ni keluar daripada grup yang memerlukan bantuan.
Tapi abang rasa tak ke if the government keep giving the income rendah punya subsidi, they will be at the comfort zone. They will not come out from the comfort zone and they will not have the drive to bring themselves further because government is keep giving the subsidy to them. Let's say government remove the subsidy from the M40 and the T20, right? And we focus on the B40. Whatever subsidy that they are having is going to be surplus. Assuming drive to B40. At the end of the day, there is no purpose of B40 to naikkan taraf hidup mereka because government is there helping them. I agree, they perlukan pertolongan, tapi sampai bila?
Betul, I agree juga you cakap kalau kita keep giving and then dia dah naik lemak, tak nak bergerak daripada situ. Tapi kita cuba fokus dulu pada membantu diorang instead of kita bersangka buruk macam tu.
Isn't the government has been helping them throughout?
Yeah.
I think the government has helped the rakyat a lot throughout. Tapi I think it's not coming out daripada situasi tu, it's not coming out. Padahal I rasa there are more people who is falling into that category of the B40 rather than coming out daripada golongan tu. Alright? So at the end of the day, M40, T20, they are also paying higher tax. Let's say we are talking about subsidy. What subsidy yang government bagi? Petrol, electricity. Sekarang, recently T20 electricity, they have taken back.
Yeah.
Petrol. Malaysia is a petroleum country. Why we cannot get subsidy?
Because T20 is one of the category that amplify the economics. They spend a lot. They buy assets. They spend a lot of money. They give a lot of taxes. So I think the government should also include the T20, give subsidies to them. Kalau kata negara Malaysia mengalami deficit budget, mengalami deficit budget dan perlukan improve debt ceiling too high and need to improve their finance. Okay, we understand. As a T20, maybe we understand temporary take out our subsidy, take it out. Okay, we tried as a citizen Malaysia, we try to help. But if the government position, the finance position is getting better, then I think they should giving us back the subsidies.
Government should be give subsidy equal to everyone. Because beside that, we still have a bantuan to P40 a lot.
Yeah,
Bujang, macam-macam ada bantuan. The government never forget this about B40.
Life is not easy for the people in the T20 bracket. For those who are on board, please step forward.
Of course, when you have a higher income, your lifestyle increase because not only because of desire. Sometimes like T20, most of the people are business and they have to meet also executive and stuff. They must look presentable and also they have to be and they're having a difficult life to sustain it. T20 can fall into M40 anytime also, so they have to hold the thing. Is quite difficult, right? Easy.
Let's say you want to go and buy or you want to purchase something, assuming they see from your car to your house and people actually put a rate for that. So which I think it's not fair. So people have the judgmental in their mind that, because you're earning more, so you should pay more. So there's no harm that you pay more. But actually, life is difficult for us as well because we do have commitments, we do have families, and we do have to pay our bills as well. If you minus off whatever commitments that we have, we could be even worse than B40 at the end of the day. Yeah. But that's the fact because of assumptions that because you're in T20, but because you're in T20 is because of the number of years that you've been working, the number of hours that you've been working, so you were able to reach to that point. But that does not mean that your life is easy.
Life will be never easy for T20, okay? The T20 category, right? If you are in that kind of category, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. For top management, they actually have very low quality time with their families because they want to sustain the lifestyle, the income. If they don't met their income desire, in the end of the month, they have the bill to pay. Like you said, they have to maintain the cost of living. They have to maintain it. If they slack or they make any wrong decisions, they are no longer in that positions, then who is going to pay their expenditure? Their expenditure every month is huge.
Slightly disagree lah. The time of now was spending time with the family and stuff. B40 also doing two jobs. They can't even sit with their families and chat and stuff. B40 they can, okay, they're already there. They already know lifestyle. They might go up a bit, they fall a bit. They can still maintain because they're used to it already. And if the T20 they fall, they're going to fall harder.
Yeah.
So it's easy for them to to handle the situation if they fall.
So when they reach T20, means this person is very work hard. A lot of things they spend and they lost the perhubungan antara keluarga dengan ibu, dengan kampung semua. Sebab dia terlalu concentrate on kerja. Selalu we ketinggalan. Family buat gathering but we can't join.
Same pattern again.
Compared with B40 and T20, I think T20 is it's easier for them to settle things that related to money. If it's not related with money, then it's not easy for everyone also lah.
I bukan berada di tempat T20, so with your kind of income, I assume you are having a good life. Instead of B40 punya income, you all punya spending power lagi banyak, you all punya income better, so better income means better life.
But not always better life. Macam kita cakap tadi, he couldn't spend time with the family because to sustain the income, right? Kena maintain. Kalau bila life macam tu, mentally you are disturbed. So they have to use their mental power. So they kena fokus kat benda tu satu. At the same time, they kena fokus kat family ke, atau problems and everything. It's not easy.
But not as hard as B40. You got
Honestly speaking, it's like when you earn more, your responsibilities become more. So your time is lesser spent at one thing because you are divided into multiple sections. Versus, let's say I have lower income, I have a simpler lifestyle. It's always true that we always see somebody who is greater than us, he or she is having a better life than me. That's human nature, right? But at the end of the day, we are not in that person's shoe to make such assumption lah.
yeah.
Neither can we make assumptions to the B40 as well and say, oh no, their life is easy. No, obviously it's not easy because yes, 70%, 90% of the things in this world money buys.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you pay what you get.
Life is not for everyone, but it's still okay being crying inside Ferrari instead of being crying inside Myvi.
I think the burden that's carried by different category is different. But every category has its own responsibility. It's whether besar ataupun kecil sangat kecil.
If you are poor as a working adult, it's your fault. If you are in agreement, please step forward.
I believe that if you think you are poor, there are other means for you to increase your income. And there are other ways for you to increase your lifestyle as well. If you think this particular job is not what's giving you what you want, I think there are other opportunities in Malaysia that a lot of people can venture into and can try as well.
B40, they're not poor, but the income is low. Yeah, luck factors plays sometimes, but not always luck. It's about your hard work, your determination, your ambition. So if you're not taking the risk of going again, towards your ambition or your dreams or anything, that means you're not trying. If you're not trying, that means you're lazy and you don't want to use this brain or your physical to do something about it. If you don't take action, it means you will stay poor forever.
Malaysia is a land of opportunity juga. So kalau kata miskin tu in term of income, banyak cara untuk you dapatkan extra income. So kalau still as working adults, kita still susah, kita kena blame ourselves. Sebab kita tak cuba untuk keluar daripada comfort zone kita. Sebab nak keluar daripada comfort zone tu benda yang paling susah untuk kita buat actually.
If you all are still poor, I think something wrong with this guy. Young is a time to work hard. It's not time to enjoy. Because you are young, strong. You have to work hard. You start work 20, 30, 40, you have 30 years to work hard. You have to think about your future.
If you're born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's
Definitely your
mistake.
mistake.
Yeah, you didn't do anything about it.
Attitude poor and financial poor, for me, are related. If your attitude is poor, financially you are poor also.
Poor, so
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not here to judge everyone because we do not know the individual conditions, their family issue, their career issue. Sometimes the individual have the opportunity to climb up corporate ladder very fast, but because of the family commitment, they have parents need to jaga. The parents sick, they give up the opportunity. They don't want. They want to stay at home, take care about it, so they will remain poor. Okay, I totally agree with some of you. Your statements. Sometimes they say that because of the mentality or this thing, but sometimes not all of them are to be blamed. I have one client, okay, she is a single mother, she is working. Whatever that she earn, okay, whatever she have to give to their family. They spend to their family, they spend. In the end, when she old, she have nothing. She is still poor. Because what she want is to bring up her kids. Correct? So, in the end, she's still poor. Is it she should be blamed? No. Just like my mother. My mother have 6 children. I have 6 siblings. My mother is working, so she have the money. She contributed to her kids, us. So is it she to be blamed? No.
Was she poor?
Was she poor? She poor. Last time
But she was able to bring your 6 kids up. Was she poor?
Bro, I tell you, she's not poor, bro. She's the richest person on the planet now.
I mean, every family, every household goes through that. Every parent goes through that.
Yeah.
It's a cycle. Okay, it doesn't mean that she gives everything to her family. Doesn't mean that she's poor. No,
That's why.
because she gives the best for her kids.
Kids, yeah.
The kids gets the best. The mother doesn't feel she's poor. Of course, everybody
Yeah.
has different motivation, different
Yeah.
encouragement, different purposes.
But the good-
But at the end of the day, did we reach our goal? Did we fulfill whatever that we were supposed to do? If the answer is yes, then you're not poor.